have a mystery bag. And I'm going to call you to come put your hand inside. No peeking. And you have to stay calm and quiet and wait for your turn. And whenever you come up, you're going to describe what's in the bag. You're going to tell me how it feels, okay? And then you can guess what it is. So Ben, come up here. All right, stand off to the side here so everybody can see you. Feel it. Tell me what it is. Tell me how it feels.
Squishy.
Squishy.
Stretchy.
And stretchy.
Wrinkle.
Breakable.
Play-Doh.
You think it's Play-Doh? Why don't you take your hand out and see? Let's see. You're going to reach in there and tell me what it is?
It's a flat.
It's Play-Doh! Good job.
Big boulder.
Alright. Alright, now return to your seat. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, which of your 5 senses were you using?
Touch.
Touch, right?
Sight.
Sight? No, because you weren't looking until you looked at it, right? You were using touch, right? Did you smell it? Can you smell it for me? What does it smell like?
Smells good.
Smells good? Yeah, and you see it? We're not going to taste it, right? Because we don't want to taste Play-Doh. All right? Everything you're feeling is a property of matter.
Matter?
Matter.
Everything is
Okay?
matter.
Everything is matter. All right? And today we're going to learn about the properties of matter
Is
and how we
nothing
use
matter?
our 5 senses to learn about the properties of matter. Okay?
Is
What?
nothing matter?
Nothing is not matter. All right? Let me see the Play-Doh. All right. Good job. Let me see the Play-Doh. That way we can move on, okay? All right. So I want you to look up here at the screen. All right. So let's learn about the properties of matter. Remember 5 senses from last year? Let's go over what they were, okay? We have your sense of taste. You can taste something yummy or you can taste something yucky. What do you use to taste with?
Tongue.
Your tongue.
No, your taste buds.
Your taste buds, right. What sense is this?
Smell.
Smell. You can smell dirty socks.
Oh.
You can smell a pretty flower. What do you use to smell with?
Nose.
Your nose. All right. What sense is this?
Here.
Hearing. You can hear music. You can hear a monkey. What do you use to hear with?
Ears.
Your ears. What sense is this?
Sight.
Sight. You can see the school bus whenever it's coming, right? And we see a rainbow after it rains. What do you use for sight?
Eyes.
Eyes. All right. You have your sense of
Touch.
touch. You can touch a hard rock. You can touch soft pillows. What do you use for touch?
Hands.
Your hands. Show me your hands. All right. So how do we use those 5 senses for the properties of matter? Well, what's matter? Matter is
anything that takes up space and
Ha-
has mass.
Right.
What is mass?
What is mass? Mass is the amount of matter in an object, and it determines whether an object is heavy or light. So we have heavy and light as a feather, okay? What is a physical property?
I don't know.
A physical property is a characteristic of matter. It's anything that can be observed or measured. All right, do you have any questions?
Yes.
What?
What does characteristic mean?
Characteristic? It's a thing that you can see. Okay? Like something can be bumpy, right? And you can see that and feel that? Okay. So how do we observe properties of matter?
By using
By using our senses. What's your question?
Go back to
You want me to go back?
go back one. Is nothing a physical property?
No. All right, so we use our senses, right? What can we observe with our senses?
Shape.
Shape, size, what?
Color, smell, hard or soft taste, sound,
Sound.
heavy or light, rough or smooth.
Good job. All right, let's try it. Like, do you think they're heavy or light?
Kind of both.
Kind of both. Depends, right? If you have a bunch of them, it might be heavy. Let's see, are they hard or soft?
Kind of hard.
Okay, so those are all properties of a Lego, right?
But can you hear them?
Can you hear them when they're being poured out? You can hear them, right?
Yeah.
All right, what about this? What's this? Pizza. Can you hear pizza? When it's being chopped? When it's being cut? Can you smell pizza?
Of course it is about that.
Can you taste it?
Of course it's a
Is
food.
it heavy or light?
Both.
Both? I guess if you get a big pizza, it would be heavy, huh? Is it hard or soft?
The crust is hard, the other part is soft.
Oh, okay. All right, one more. What's this? Puppy! Can you hear a puppy?
Yes!
What does a puppy say?
Woo! Woo! Or, hello to you, anybody?
Is it hard or soft?
And both.
Is it heavy or light?
No puppy, light. Big puppy, heavy.
Does it smell like anything?
Unless it's pooping, yes.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go to our video here.
Hey guys, remember what it was like in preschool? If you don't remember, here's a reminder. It was way easier. Playing with colored blocks, learning shapes, those were the days. Good times. But here's a fun fact. When you were learning how to put all those yellow blocks in a line or stuffing square-shaped blocks through a square hole, you were also learning something very fundamental, and that is how to judge an object's properties. But what do we mean when we talk about the properties of stuff?
Big question!
Well, let's start with this. The stuff that makes up everything is called matter. Doesn't make any difference if it's a tiny grain of sand or all of the air that surrounds the earth. Everything is made of matter. And a property of matter is just any characteristic that we can list about it, like how it looks, feels, or acts. For example, my characteristics include having black hair, wearing glasses, having some wicked awesome nerd cred, and, well, you get the idea. Properties of matter are also things that we can observe. This means that they have differences that are big enough to notice. For instance, I'm currently observing that my desk is messier than it was 5 seconds ago. And to round it out, properties of matter are also able to be measured. That is, we can compare objects to each other. But instead of just looking at them and getting a general idea of how they compare, we measure them by using tools that give us values or numbers. Now, let's put all of these ideas to work by demonstrating how we can find a few basic properties of a simple object. Let me grab my measuring tape. Okay, look. I know I was just talking about how fun it was to play with blocks, but let me be clear. I am not playing with these blocks. This is science, people. Now, let's start with a couple of questions. 1. What properties does this block have? Well, there are some properties that we can observe, but we can't really measure or describe them with numbers, like this block's color, or what it's made of, or even the fact that it holds its shape, which makes it a solid. So, a better question to ask might be, what can we observe and measure about this block? Let's start with the big one here, length. Length is just the distance of something from end to end, and this block's length is 8.5 centimeters. Width, meanwhile, is the distance of something from side to side, and its width is 8.5 centimeters. Height, that's an easy one. It's the distance of an object from its bottom to its top, not to mention a major factor in being able to play basketball successfully. And the height of this block is 9 centimeters. So length, width, and height are some of the most commonly used properties, but there are a lot of others too. For instance, our block is also an object shaped like a box that takes up space. That is, it fills up the space it's in. We call that space the block's volume. We can measure the volume of this block using math, based on the measurements that I just made. But we can also get a more general idea of its volume by making other observations. Like the medium block easily fits into the bigger block, so we know that the medium block has less volume than the bigger block. But there's no way the medium block is fitting into the little block, so we know that the medium block has more volume than this small block. Finally, weight is another measurable property of matter. Weight just tells us how heavy an object is. When you go to a doctor's office and they ask you to stand on a scale, they're usually scale to measure your weight. Got it? Good. So all matter has properties, and properties are observable, measurable characteristics that we can use to tell them apart. And we got to know some of the most common and useful properties that we can put a value or number on, like length, width, height, volume, and weight. So, hey, blocks. Not just for little kids, also super handy for doing science.
Alright. So today we're learning about
Matter.
properties of matter, right? And by the end of the day, we're going to be able to take a bag of things and sort them into their properties, okay? So first we're going to play a game called I Spy,
Ha! That's easy.
okay? But this is a different game, alright?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to pick something in the room, and you're going to spy it based on its properties. So you're not just going to say the color, you're going to say other things too, okay? So, for example, if I said, I spy the, let's see, if I thought it was the cabinet, I would say, I spy something big and heavy and black and tall and made of metal. What would you guess? The black cabinet's over there, right? Okay, so now it's your turn. Spy something.
I spied my mom.
No. You have to use the properties of matter. What do you spy?
My mom.
I'm not a property of matter.
This is good.
You have to use a property of matter.
I spy my hand. My hand is
Peach
and feels like a human.
and feels like a human.
And it can touch things.
It can touch things.
It smells like everything.
Okay. So, let's spy something else. Can you pick something else in the room? Don't tell me what it is this time. And just tell me its properties and see if I can guess what it is.
I spy something blue. It's blue and feels kind of cool. And that's all I can tell about. It feels like a magnet.
It's magnetic. Is it hard or soft?
Hard and it's shaped.
Is it heavy or light? Its shape is a circle. Good.
It's light.
Okay, so I'm going to guess, is it that magnet right there?
Yep.
All right, good job. All right, you want to spy one more thing?
I spy something. Black.
Let's see, what if I said, I spy something that starts with a square and it has a triangle on top and it has a rectangle in the
A
middle.
house.
A house, right. Those are properties of a house, right? Well, a drawing of a house anyways, right? All right, let's go to our seats. Go to our seats. Go ahead.
I'm in the sea.
All right, now I'm going to give you a property of matter, and you have to give me different words that would fit into that property, okay? For example, I'm going to do weight, the middle one. Now, weight can only have two words in it, right? Things can either be what?
Heavy.
Heavy,
Light.
heavy, or light. Okay, so I'm going to give each group a different word, and you have to come up with different words that would fit into that category, okay? So you're going to get color, and you're going to use the crayon that I gave you to write down different colors. All right? And I'm going to fill in some, since we don't have a big group, I'm going to fill in some of the rest of this, okay? you writing down some colors?
I already did.
You wrote down some?
Yep.
Okay. Well, name some colors for me, and I'll try to write them down for you.
Green.
Green, all right. Green. What's another color?
Blue.
Blue. All right. What's another color?
Orange.
Orange.
Purple. Oh, I got an idea.
Purple. Pink.
Black.
Black. All right. Any other colors?
Yellow.
Yellow. Any others?
Red.
Red. Any other colors that you can think of?
Violet. Purple.
We did purple.
Violet.
Violet. Violet's another color, but that's similar to purple. How about, let's write down brown. I don't have a brown marker, but we can write it in black. All right. Now, Ben, can you think of some textures? Let's see, bumpy, smooth. What's another texture?
Rough.
Huh?
Rough.
Rough.
I like to play rough.
Rough. What else?
Nice.
How about soft? What's another texture? What did that Play-Doh feel like?
Clear.
What did it feel like?
Stretchy.
Stretchy? How about gooey?
Gooey. Slimy.
Slimy. All right, we can think of lots of texture words. Can you think of some shape words?
Triangle.
All right.
Trapezoid.
Let's just draw a triangle. A trapezoid.
Nonagon.
Octagon. I'll write that
It
one.
says nonagon.
Nonagon. What's a nonagon?
A nonagon is a shape with, well, I'm going to give you a hint. Count to 10. What number starts with N?
9.
So how many sides is that?
9.
Draw a shape with 9 sides.
How about I'll just write 9 sides. Okay, what about a circle? Or a square? A rectangle?
0. Both sides.
Okay, lots of different shapes, right?
Octagon.
Okay, so you did a good job with that, and we can come up with lots more that fit into these different words, right? And there's lots of different ways, there's lots of different properties, right? So there's lots of different ways that we can tell the difference. Now we're going to do our next activity, okay? We're going to each get a bag of crackers, and you're going to take your paper, and you're going to draw a picture of the cracker. Tell me what the texture is, tell me what the shape is, tell me what the size is, and tell me what the color is, okay? So I'm going to give you your paper, and I'm going to give you your bag of snacks.
Can I eat them?
After you're done, you may eat them. Do not eat them until I come and see your paper. I have to see your paper before you eat them.
I have a question. Why is there orange?
It is. It's a type of cracker.
Mommy.
All right?
Yeah.
No, you can eat it once you fill out all of these.
No, not me.
All right, you did such a great job today. Let's go over what we learned, okay? We learned what matter is. What's matter?
Matter is color, shape, weight, texture, and size.
Matter is everything around us, right? Everything that has mass. And all
And
matter has
nothing.
properties, right? And we can observe them using what?
Our senses.
Our senses, okay? We put together a poster with different characteristics, right? The shape and color and size and texture. And then we use the properties to sort through our snacks, right? What was your favorite snack?
Everyone.
All of them? What was your favorite property?
No, shape.
So what I want you to do now is I want you to go home and teach your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or your grandma